Okay, welcome everyone. As we are learning, sponsored by A.B. Spry for the Refuah Shalema of his grandchild, Toiba Reiza Bas Hinda, and for great zivugim for their daughter and grandchildren. We're sponsored by Shelley Zeitlin, Refuah Shalema for Shimon ben Sarah Miriam, Ishmael ben Esther Fradel, and for the schus of his wonderful children, Eli, Orit, and Ora. We're also sponsored for the spiritual, emotional, and physical protection for Yeshua Menachem Mendel, Ben Bela, Shendel, Rivka. He should have everything wonderful. We are holding on the bottom of Lamed Tes Amud Beis, and we are discussing in middle of a sugya. I knew yesterday that it would be a little bit tough but we didn't have a choice to stop in middle of this sugya. We were discussing a machlokes between Rav and Shmuel. Rav says a big chiddush. He says that the only time you swear by a case of moed b'miktzas is only where I make a claim from Shelley and he denies at least the amount of 2 ma of kesef, 2 silver ma. Shmuel says there's no such minimum. As long as he denies the amount of a pruta, as long as he denies the amount of a pruta, or admits the amount of a pruta, he has to swear. Now, the Mishnah said a case where I say that Shelley owes me 2 silver ma and a pruta, and I say that Shelley owes me 2 silver ma, and he says he only owes me a pruta, he's pater. So, according to Rav, the reason why he's pater is since he admits to a pruta, he's not denying a full 2 silver ma. Because I claim 2 silver ma, he admits to owing me a pruta, so that means that he's not denying a full 2 silver ma, and that's why he's pater. But according to Shmuel, Shelley admits to a pruta, he denies a significant amount. Why should he be pater? So the Gemara says that according to Shmuel, it's because it's not talking about the value of 2 silver ma and the value of a pruta. It's actually that I tiny 2 silver ma and he admits to a pruta. So that's a case where he admits not mimin hataina, because I claim silver and he admits to copper. And we said if I claim wheat and he admits to barley, so it's not mimin hataina, and that's why he's pater. So the question is, does the Mishnah, when it says stuff, does it mean the value of, or does it mean the actual commodity? So the Gemara now says that as we start, by Hokinami Mistavra, it's reasonable to say that it's not talking about shoveh, the value of, but the actual item. Hokinami Mistavra, Midiktani Sefer, it says in the Sefer, if I say to Shelley, Litrazov Yeshli Biyot, you have a liter of gold of mine, and Shelley says, Ein loch biyodi ela litra kesef, I only have a liter of silver, pater. So, Iyamrit b'shloimeh dafka ketani, where I said bullion of gold, and he admits to bullion of silver, mishamachi pater, because it's not mimin hataina. It's not of the same type. Eliyamrit shava, but if it means that I claimed the value of a liter of gold, and he admitted to the value of a liter of silver, liter tuvave, a liter of either gold and silver is a very big amount, so why should we pater? Element is sefer dafka, it means the actual item and not the value of. Reisha nami dafka. That means the reisha could also means the actual item and not the value of. So then lema taviti of the Rav, that would be a refutation of Rav. Says the Gemara, Amalach Rav, no. Kulamas nisan shava, it means the value of. The value of 2 liter and the value of a pruta. And the reason why, where I claim the value of 2 liter, where I claim the value of 2 ma of silver, and he admits to the value of a pruta, is because then he didn't deny the minimum of 2 ma of silver. Says the Gemara, Amalach Rav Kulamas Nisan Shav. But then if it's the value of, then why would I claim a liter of gold and he says a liter of silver? Why is he potter? Says the Gemara, Litra Zav Shani. Because where you use the terminology of a specific weight of gold, that implies actual gold and actual silver. And that's why it's potter, because you're not admitting to the minataina, because I'm claiming gold and he's admitting to an amount of silver. And that's why it's potter. Teida, you should know, the Ketani Sefer, dinner zav li biyadcha. I tell Shelley, you have a dinar of gold, a golden denare. And Shelley says, Ein lach biyadi, I don't have, eladina kesef, silver denari, or a trisas, or punyan, or pruta. These are other minted coins, chayiv. Why? Shakol min matbeya akasein. They're all types of coins. So that's considered, even though one's copper, and one's silver, and one's gold, they're all types of coins. So that's all considered meminataina. So first the Gemara wants to say, it means the value of. So if it's the value of, it's all miminatana, mishamachi chayev. Eliyamid davka, if it means an actual dinner of gold, and he admits to an actual dinner of silver, amai chayev, it's not miminatana. Amar Rabbi Lazar b'shitanu b'dinner matbeyos. It's talking about where he claimed minted coins. So minted coins, these are all different types of minted coins. V'kamash malan, the pruta b'chlal matbeya isa, and pruta is a type of minted coins. Dekanami, that's the reason it gives. Diktani shakol min matbeya achas. It's all coinage. The Rav, he doesn't learn that it means that they're all coins. Rather, shakol din matbeya achas. They're all the same, meaning that they're all the same of value, and the chiddush is that even if Shelley admits just to a pruta, as long as he denies 2 silver ma, even if he just admits to a pruta, he has to swear. Now, Rabbi Lazar who learns that the pshat in the sefer is because they're all coinage, lema mid the sefer kishmuel mataritz, so reisha nami kishmuel Shmuel. Let's say that he holds in the reisha also like Shmuel, and you don't need a kfira of 2 silver ma. Says him, no, like sefer dafka. The sefer means that it's all the type of coinage, diktani shakol min matbeya achas. But the reisha, the way to learn the reisha, where you say that if I claim 2 silver ma, and Shelley admits to a pruta that he's potter, it could either be karav, that the reason why he's potter is because he's not denying 2 silver ma, or kishmul, or because it means mamish, silver and pruta, and it's because it's not meminatayna. Tajma, we're going to yet try to prove what's going on over here. Dinner zav zahuv li biyadcha. Now here, the double lashon of dinner zav zahuv. a dinner zav, plated gold, that means minted, and he says, Ein lach biyadi ela dinner kesef, I only have a coin of kesef, so chayiv. Because again, we'll say that it's min ataina, since it was a claim of a minted coin. Now, taima da amalei zahav zahav, which means a minted coin. Hastama, but if he didn't say zahav zahav, it's mashma shavak amalei. He just meant the value of gold. Rav Ashi, no. Hachi kama kala imer dina zav. Whoever says a coin of zav, kaimer dina zahav zahav dummy. It's like he's saying a minted golden coin, and it's a type of coin. Now, Rabbi Chia taught a brisa clearly like Rav. Tani Rabbi Chia l'siyuei l'Rav. Rabbi Chia taught a brisa expressly like Rav. If I say to Shelley, Sela li biyodcha, I have a claim of a seller, and he says, Ein lach biyodi ela seller chaser beis kesef, I only owe you a seller lacking 2 kesef, 2 more kesef, so he has a kfira of 2 more kesef, chayiv. Chaser ma, but if he says lacking 1 more, pater, because this is Rav's position, that you're only chayiv if you have a denial of at least 2 more kesef. Amar Rav Nachman Yitzchak Amar Shmuel, loitaina loishanu ela betainis milva v'das loiva. These rules are only where I, the creditor, claim that Shelley owes me, and Shelley makes a partial admission. However, avaltainis milva, where I claim from Shelley, va'adas eid echad, and I bring 1 witness, this is another category of Shavuos Hadayan, and that is where I bring 1 witness. If I bring 1 witness, that forces Shelley to swear. Now there, afilu loitanu ela bepruta, even if I make a claim of a pruta, chayiv. My timer, what's the reason? Dichsiv lo yokum eid echad beish. Normally, 1 witness cannot accomplish anything in the realm of Isser, and therefore, since it's not going to accomplish anything, so then it's only Lashon Hara. So lo yakum eid echad beish. If 1 person knows that Marshall committed murder, you shouldn't say anything. Shouldn't say anything. And look at everybody walking out. Lo yakum.
Surrounded by chickens.
Lo yakum eid echad beish. L'kol avin, for any sin, or l'kol chatas, for any iniquity. L'kol avin or l'kol chatas who deina come. Aval kamu l'shvua. But they could get up to force Marshall to swear. B'tanya kol mokum shishnayim mechayiv and oisay mamen, wherever 2 people could be mechayiv him to pay, eid echad mechayiv shvua. So since 2 people could be mechayiv him to pay even a pruta, if they say that he's chayiv to pay a pruta, al pi shnayim eidim yokum davar, so 1 witness would cause him to have to swear.
But then he doesn't need to be mother mixas. That makes no difference.
Correct. So I told you, it's a different category of Shavuos Dayanim. There's 3 categories of Shavuos Dayanim. There's Moed B'Mixas, there's Eid Echad, and there's also Shavuos HaShoimrim. We're going to learn that also before the Masechta is over. By the way, this was a hard Masechta. Masechta's Avodah Zarah is a lot easier Masechta. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'akol niyeh b'dvaro.
Are we going to learn about the story of this?
Yeah. If you like the Masechta, I will warn you, you shouldn't say, I love Avodah Zarah. It doesn't sound good.
I was thinking the same thing.
I saw it on your face. Now, V'amar Rav Nachman Amar Shmuel, Tanu chitin v'siren. If, let's say, I claim that Shelley owes me wheat and barley, v'hoida loy be'echad mehem, and he admits to one of them, chayiv. Amalei Rabbi Yitzchak Yasher, you should be strengthened. The Chayin Amar Rabbi Yochanan, says the Gemara, from the fact that it says the Chayin Amar Rabbi Yochanan, Michlal the Poligalei Reish Lakish, that implies that Reish Lakish argues about this. Ikit says the Gemara, Michlal the Poligalei Reish Lakish, does that imply that Reish Lakish argues? So the Gemara says no, Reish Lakish's position was not for sure. Ikanamre Misha Vishole Vishasikle, Reish Lakish would delay and be quiet until Rabbi Yochanan finished his dissertation. Now, Rabbi Yitzchak left before Rabbi Yochanan finished. So he wasn't sure if Reish Lakish's quiet was admission or that he didn't get a chance to hear what Reish Lakish had to say. Or Ikadamre Mishta Vishasikle. Reish Lakish was drinking a coffee. And therefore, maybe he was quiet because he was drinking a coffee, not that he admitted. So he wasn't sure what the position of Reish Lakish was. Now, let's go over this case again. I make a claim to Shelley that he owes me wheat and barley. And he admits to one of them. Let's say he admits to the wheat. So there is an argument to say that that's Moed B'Mikzas, because he admitted to a partial claim. There's another way of looking at it, however. You could say that he admitted to, he admitted to all of the wheat, and he denied fully the barley. And then maybe he's not considered a Moed B'Mikzas. So let's see how the Gemara handles this. Lema Messiah Tanu Chitin V'Hoidolei B'Sarim Pater. That's because it's not Memin HaTaina. If I claim wheat and he admits to barley, Pater. Rabbi Gamliel Mechayev. Rabbi Gamliel doesn't hold that you need Memin HaTaina. But Taima the Tanu Chitin V'Hoidolei B'Sarim. But if I would claim Chitin V'Sarim V'Hoidolei B'Echad Man and would admit to one of them, then Chayev. Because otherwise it should have said the bigger chiddush that even if I claim wheat and barley and he admits to the wheat, he's still potter. Says no, perhaps not. That where I claim chitin and he admits to barley, that's like that over there, even over there, Rabbi Gamliel holds that he's chayav. Tashma. Now, before we learn this inside, we have to remember that ein nishboin ala karkos. You can't impose a shvua on real estate. Now, with that in mind, if tanu kalim v'karkos, if I make a claim to Shelley that he owes me a snowmobile and a field, hoida b'kalim, if he admits to the snowmobile, the kafar b'karkos, and he denies the field, so of course over there he's not going to have to swear, because the reason why I would have to swear is about the field, and you don't swear on karka. Or even b'karkos, even if he admits to the real estate, the kafar b'kalim, and he denies the snowmobile, so there also either will say that since you can't impose a shvua on the real estate, when he denies the snowmobile, he's denying everything of what is shvuable, of what is swearable. And therefore that's why he's potter. Or it's because since there's no shvuah on karka, the karka can't be the catalyst to impose him to make a shvuah. So in all these cases, he's patur. Hoida memixas karkais, if he admits to part of the real estate, there he doesn't swear, because again, there can't be a shvuah because of real estate, patur. However, if I made a claim for 2 snowmobiles and real estate, and he admits to 1 snowmobile, chayiv, because there it's a moida b'mikzas on movables. Now, taima de kalim v'karkais, that's only because of kalim and karka. The karka la bashvui, because you can't impose an oath on real estate. Ha kalim, the kalim, let's say I demand from him a snowmobile and a lawnmower. Dumya de kalim v'karkais, where they're 2 different things, and he admits to just the lawnmower, chayiv, which would be a raya to what we're saying now, that tana b'chita misayrim, and he admits to one of them, and chayiv. Says, well, no, maybe not. Who adin afilu kalim v'kalim nami patur. If it's a snowmobile and a lawnmower, and he admits to one of them, he's patur. V'adik tani kalim v'karkais, that's coming to teach us, kamash malan dechi hoida b'mixas kalim, that if he admits, if I make a claim for 2 snowmobiles and real estate, and he admits to 1 snowmobile, then once he has to swear about the other snowmobile, he already has to swear about the real estate too. Why? Because that's the din of zoikikin, that once you have to swear about the movables, you also have to swear about the real estate. So the Gemara says, "My kamash malon zoikikin," that it causes you to swear about the real estate also. Tanina, we already learned that in the Mishnah. That if you have to swear about the movables, it pulls you to swear about the real estate too. Says, well, you're right. Ha'ikr, that was the our Mishnah is the primary source. Hahi agav grara nasva. When it's mentioned in Kiddushin, that was only as an adjunct to the topic it was discussing. Now we're going to hear another opinion. There's another opinion over here. And by the way, after the shir in Yitz Hashem, we will be doing a chak. We haven't done a chak in a long time. We will be doing a chak after the shir. Almost half of our oilam is missing tonight. What's going on over here? Barry, did you threaten anybody? We're missing Ruvain Pollack. What's with Ruvain Pollack? Come on, what's going on over here? Marshall, will you stop threatening Mark? I mean, he's afraid to come on the thing.
We're talking about me murdering people. I don't blame him.
Okay, here's Yeshua Shmuel Eisenberg. We become richer every minute over here.
Is Irving here tonight?
No, he's not.
To call him.
No, he's not. He says it's late for him. We got to be mechazikim. Got to be mechazikim. Got to tell him, Barry, if you could do it, he could do it. That's what it says. Barry Mechayev, you know.
Based on what we learned yesterday, that the person initiating the shua is also culpable. These are not right. These are not things that really people want it. Like all these shuas, the person going to swear, but then the person, it's his fault also.
That is correct. The idea of that Gemara, which is a very demanding thing, is that even though there's a mitzvah of im kesef talva es ami, you have to be very careful who you give a loan to. That's why I was saying, if you're in Chicago, make sure you don't give a loan to Marshall. I always
But I do accept donations.
I always learned. Rashi says that this is one of the cases where im does not mean if. But the Torah does say if. So I always learned that to give loans, you have to have a cast iron stomach. Because the halacha is, if you give a loan and the guy can't pay, and he can't pay, you're not supposed to ask him for the money. That's a very hard halacha. And therefore the Torah says, like Marshall says, if you don't feel that you could, maintain giving me a loan and dealing with my mishigasin, then I take tzedakah. And you should give it tzedakah and not a loan.
And I take Zelle too.
Right? And PayPal. He takes Venmo, he takes PayPal, he takes Zelle, he takes
King, baby.
He takes euros, he takes a Cougarand, whatever you give him.
Bourbon.
Yeah, whatever. Now,
It's say Pirayim Baal Chayv is a mitzvah. What do you mean it's a mitzvah? You have to pay it. Because if you don't pay it, the Baal Chayv, he'll never lend money again.
that's right. Shaloi tinul deles b'fnei halovin. That's a very big thing. The Gemara is very concerned that in order for business to operate, there has to be healthy means of credit. And therefore, the Gemara is very concerned, and therefore it puts many obligations on the debtor and not on the creditor. For example, the debtor has to pay for the clerk to write the promissory note. We want to make sure to keep the channels of credit open. Now, the Gemara now tells us, and we're going to get a review, the Gemara tells us now the opposite opinion. If I say that Shelley owes me wheat and barley, and he admits to one of them, potter. Why? Let's think about this. He admitted to all of the barley and none of the wheat. So you'll say, but he admitted to, he didn't, of the wheat, he didn't admit anything. So therefore, he learns that that's not considered Maida b'miktzas. He doesn't look at it as all as one claim, but he looks at it as two separate claims. The barley, he admitted to everything. The wheat, he admitted to nothing, and therefore he's not chayiv to swear. So let's see that again. And how could you say that this is Rabbi Yechon's opinion? Earlier, Rabbi Yitzchak Yasher, you should be strengthened. And before we said that Rabbi Yechon held these chayiv, says the Gemara, it's a machlokes Amarayim on what the opinion of Rabbi Yechon is. So now the Gemara tries to use all of its proofs the other way. It says if you claim wheat and you admit to barley, you're potter. That implies, but if you claim both wheat and barley and admitted to one of them, that would be chayiv. Otherwise, it should have said that case a bigger chiddush. Says no. Even if you claim wheat and barley, and Shelley admits to one of them, you're also potter. That if you claim wheat and you admit to barley, that's like that even over there, Rabbi Gamliel holds your chayiv. So now it brings the case of the snowmobile and the karka. If I claim from Shelley a snowmobile and real estate, and he admits to the snowmobile and he denies the real estate, or or B'Karkos, he admits to the real estate, B'Kafar B'Kalim, and he denies the snowmobile. In all those cases, he's potter. Why? Because if he denies the real estate, you don't swear on real estate. If he denies the snowmobile, since you don't swear on the real estate, so then he admitted to nothing that is swearable. He denies all of the snowmobile. If he admitted to a portion of the real estate potter, because there's no shmua on real estate, but mixas kalim, if I claim that he owes me 2 snowmobiles and real estate, and he admits to 1 snowmobile, chayiv, he swears for the snowmobile, and he has to swear then on the real estate, because of zoikikin. Now, time of the kalim v'karka is, it's only because utensils and real estate, the karka la bashvui. Karka is not bashvua. Ha kalim v'kalim, dumya the kalim v'karka is. Let's say I claimed a snowmobile and a lawnmower, and he admitted to one of them, chayiv, which would be a raya that you're chayiv in such a case, a kasha on the position of Reb Chia bar Abba. Says no. Who I didn't afilu kalim v'kalim nami potter. Even snowmobile and a lawnmower, in the midst of the lawnmower, it's also potter. However, v'akamash blood, that in the case of 2 snowmobiles and the real estate, the height of a mixes kalim, when he admits to one of the snowmobiles, chayiv afal karkos, he has to swear about the real estate too. My kamash mal, what's the chiddush? The zaykikin. But we learned, Tanino, we already learned in Masechtas Kedushin, Zaykikin, as said, when you have to swear about movables, it forces you to swear about the real estate too. Says this is the primary source. Hahi, and in Kedushin, Agav Grora Nasra, it's mentioned ID as an adjunct to what it was teaching. So now Rav Abba bar Mamel asks Rav Chia bar Abba, Tanu Shar, if I claimed that Shelley owes me an ox, and he admits to a sheep, I claimed that he owes me a sheep, and he admits to a shar, of course that's potter. Why? Because it's not mein ataina. It's like claiming wheat and admitting to barley, it's not chayiv. Tanu b'shar v'seh, here's our case. I claim he owes me an ox and a sheep, and he admits to one of them, chayiv. So here we see clear that if you claim wheat and barley and you admit to one of them, you're chayiv. It's a beferish teaching. Says, Hamani Rebbe Gamliel. It's going like Rebbe Gamliel, who doesn't need the minatayna. The Gemara says it can't be going like Rebbe Gamliel. If it's going like Rebbe Gamliel, the same thing would be if he claims an ox and he admits to a sheep. Rebbe Gamliel, afilu reishanami, even where he claims an ox and admits to a sheep, he would be chayiv. Eloha mani admani. Oh, this is the opinion of Adman. Remember, Adman said that if I claim that Charlie owes me 100 barrels of oil, and he admits to empty barrels, so Adman says he's chayiv to swear. Because he says we look at it as where I claim barrels and oil, and if he admits just to the barrels, he has to swear. So this is the same thing. So it's going according to Adman. And says the Gemara, and don't think I'm just pushing you off. This was a arranged teaching of Rabbi Yochanan that this brisa of Shar v'seh hamani admani. Now, says the Gemara, Amar Rav Onan Amar Shmuel, let's say I claim wheat. Now, Shelley, before I could say anything else, he admits to barley. Now, that's not a case where he was chayiv shvua, because if I make a claim of wheat and he admits to barley, it's not in a shvua. But the Gemara contends the reason why Shelley rushed and admitted to barley is because I was going to say you owe me wheat and barley. And then if he admitted to barley, he would be chayiv. So Shelley burst out, I admit to barley before I got a chance to, very, very sly of Shelley. He's been hanging around, Marshall and Barry. Right?
He went to the share.
Billy, are you eating that barley right now?
So, green chili.
Eat a barley.
Says the Gemara, let's see it inside. Amar Rav Anan Amar Shmuel. Tanu chitin. If I made a claim of wheat, v'kidem oidolei b'sayr, and he rushed and says, I admit to barley. Im kamarim. If the judges sensed that he was being, just clever, and he rushed before I could make the claim of the barley, chayiv. Im miskaven. If he just said, I admit to barley, potter. Now, we learned that according to Rav, you have to make at least a denial of 2 silver ma. Is that true even by utensils? So the Gemara says no. Amar Rav Anan Amar Shmuel, Tanu shtei machtin. I say Shelley owes me 2 needles. Now a needle is not, it's 2 silver ma. I say he owes me 2 needles, and he admits to 1 needle, chayiv. And the Gemara says this is even according to Rav. Lefikach yotzu kelim l'mashahein. And that's why the Torah doesn't just say kesef, it says kesef oy kelim, to tell you that by utensils, if you deny one utensil and admit the other utensil, you're chayiv a shvuah. Amar Papa, Tanu kelim upruta. If I say Shelley owes me 2 lawnmowers and a pruta, v'haida b'kelim, and he admits to the utensils, v'kafa b'pruta, potter. This is going like Rav. Since he only denies a pruta, he's not going to be chayiv to swear, because Rav says he has to at least deny 2 silver ma. So potter. Haida bepruta, if he admits to the pruta, the kafar bekalim, and denies the utensils, there he's chayiv. Now this is, even though this is a case of tanu bechitin and sa'irim, and he admits to 1 of them. Because here, I claim 2 lawnmowers and a pruta, and he admitted to the pruta, and he denies the 2 lawnmowers, he's chayiv. So chodak rav and chodak kishmol. Chodak rav, that where he admits to the lawnmowers and denies the pruta, he's potter, because he didn't deny at least 2 silver ma. The amar kfir is taina shtei kesef. And since he only denied a pruta, it's not 2 silver ma, he's not chayiv. Chodak kishmol, that where I claim 2 silver ma and a pruta, and he admits to the pruta and he denies where I claim 2 lawnmowers and a pruta, and he admits to the pruta and denies the 2 lawnmowers, so that's Kishmol, Damatan v'chitin v'sayrim, v'haydalei ba'achas mem, and he admits to 1 of them, he is chayiv. Okay, we'll stop over here now. I did the Mishnah Yomis already, and now we're going to do, with the help of Hashem, a chok.